Morning everyone and welcome to today's workout commentary. Today I want to voice over my lower body workout where I hit quite a big PR of 170 kilos on RDLs for a set of 5 reps. Today I want to talk about the topic of intent and how hard are you really pushing yourself in the gym, okay? And I feel like this training clip here, raw, with no sound over, with no voiceover at all, is going to give you a better idea of what I mean. So what I want you to do is just listen to the clip with no voiceover. So 2 things I want you to notice there. Number 1, I was being very excessive with my grunting and just counting in general. I was kind of counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you couldn't really hear what I was saying just because it was more of a shouty kind of grunt. Now, people take this the wrong way and people do this the wrong way a lot, okay? There's one person in the gym who will, they'll be grunty, they'll be loud, they'll be obnoxious, but they won't really be pushing themselves. They're kind of grunting for the sake of grunting in the gym, okay? And that's what I'm not too keen on. Now, I don't want you to confuse that with what a lot of people, including myself, was doing in that video there, which was literally, if you ever watch tennis, where as soon as they hit a ball, they let a big roar. It's quite funny to hear, but they're actually pushing themselves so hard that when they actually hit the ball, they actually grunt really, really hard. That's because the amount of power they're putting into that shot is so much that they physically need to grunt or yell to expend that much energy. And that's what people will do in the gym, and that's what I want to show that I'm doing right there in that clip there. I'm not grunting to be obnoxious, I'm not grunting to show off in the gym. I'm grunting because that set was physically that hard and I was pushing myself that hard to hit that much of a PR I really wanted to hit, that in order to expend that much power, I wasn't just breathing out on the way up, I had to kind of grunt my way up just because that's how hard I was actually going in it, okay? The second thing I want you to know is if you go back and have a look, as I'm kind of doing here, is after each set I kind of cut out the hack squats, is at the end of each kind of set, I kind of take a second to kind of sit down and kind of, pull myself together because it was that tough a set. So there's 2 things I want to show you there, just in terms of, effort and intent in a movement that's going to, people may think, you're a bit obnoxious when you're doing it, but if you're doing it for the right reason and you're genuinely pushing yourself as hard as you possibly can, then who cares what they think? If they think you're being obnoxious prick because you're being loud and grunting in the gym, but you're genuinely just pushing yourself that hard, go for it, all for it. If someone asks you to stop, then, fuck them. That's not their problem to be worrying about. So just want to enlighten that little topic there. If you do feel like you are pushing yourself so hard, and you do feel like you have to grunt or yell or that kind of way, that's fine. It's just something that you're really, really, really pushing yourself as hard as you possibly can. I want to leave that topic to rest because I feel like it's so important, and I hope you kind of got the message there. Let's talk about hack squats. Now, let's talk about the band I'm using here. So, I wanted to take the video in this angle here to give you a better idea on how the band will work. So, I set the band up so that as it stretches down, the band moves in the same line I do at the very same time. So that in that bottom position where I do want the band to help me, it's giving me as much bang for my buck as I can because it's moving that same range of motion that I am. Okay, I'm using quite a large band because it's appropriate to the load I'm using. If I'm using a light load, I won't use too heavy a band. If I'm using a heavy load, the heavier band will be needed. So that's just a little heads up there. It's quite a heavy band. It's a very thick orange band, but compared to the weight I'm using, it's really necessary. Little tip here: have your lower back flat against the bench. Think about squishing your belly button towards the bench, just to minimize the amount of hip anterior pelvic tilt. So I'm not using much hip movement in the hack squat itself. So we put a lot more load onto the quads. Next up, let's talk about a lying hamstring curl. So I've talked about this recently. I've finally brought this back into my training. I was stuck with the seated curl for a while. Now I'm back to the lying hamstring curl. Same as a little pin at which the lever arm rotates. You want your knee to be in line with that. You can't really see it except for when I'm at the very squeezed position. You can see kind of a pin that I'm rotating my knees kind of in line with. Number 2, think about holding a crunch almost, okay? So we want to minimize the amount of work our lower back is doing in the movement, not because of injury reasons, but because we don't want all the load on the hamstrings and not the lower back. So when you shorten the hamstrings, they're very weak. So your lower back does what it can to compensate. So your lower back takes a lot of the load. When we flex our abs in that kind of crunch plank position, it means that your abs and lower back have opposite functions. So when we flex our abs, it means our lower back is kind of either in that mid-range or it's stretched. So it can't do any work. So a lot more load in this movement is going to my hamstrings instead of my lower back. finally got my leg extensions, finally going back to these after a long time with knee injury. A little tip here. So you'll see I'm not actually lying back on the seat. I'm kind of hinging my hips forward, so I'm going to create a degree even of hip flexion. The reason for that is this is going to shorten my rectus femoris and my vastus intermedius, the two middle heads of the quad that this movement is working a lot more because my hips are in a great degree of flexion. As more stretched my hips are, it means that head won't be as shortened. So when I actually go into a deeper degree of flexion, my quad will squeeze a lot more when I move my knee into extension. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys. Any questions, leave a comment down below or get in touch via email, danreespersonaltraining@gmail.com, or DM me on Instagram @coachedbydan. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll leave you watch the rest of this clip. I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you next time.